What's up YouTube? Retro Bros here in Retro Stadium. It is time for some Mario Kart time trial action.
Do a Halloween special this year.
Okay. Welcome to the Ministry. It's Halloween.
Every damn year.
I never learn. Anyway, we've got an absolutely jam-packed show for you this year. I discover a very important PlayStation 1 game.
I get grabbed by the Ghoulies.
And I craft my very own alcoholic potion.
That's right. It's all coming up. But first, let's check out the Immortal on Sega Mega Drive. So to me, as a young child in the 90s and inexperienced with anything to do with horror, well, apart from that one episode of The Flintstones where Fred and Barney meet Frankenstone, or Bone, or whatever it was, I played the Immortal. And it absolutely terrified me. On the surface, this is just a linear dungeon game with some combat and puzzles to solve, but when in the very first room this happened, my tiny brain was shocked, to the point where I thought giant worms were going to come out of the floor and take me away as a moment's notice. Seeing a clip of Tremors at a young age further compounded this fear, and I have now an irrational fear of worms and Kevin Bacon. I plucked up the courage to carry on through the first door and face my first enemy. Pretty cool, I thought. Nice combat system. Oh my.
So basically this game is known for two things. Its crushing difficulty and abundance of violence. I don't really know how we got to play this. Ah yes, this came out before the ESRB rating system was created. See, nothing on this box to warn parents of the impending horrors waiting within the plastic sarcophagus. Well, apart from this Grim Reaper, but that could mean anything, right? It was developed by Will Harvey, his name plastered proudly on the box art of all of the versions. There are some considerable differences between most of them, the NES version having far less graphical fidelity and less gore, but for this video we're going to be focusing on the Sega Genesis version, as we believe that is the best version available.
The story revolves around you playing as an unnamed wizard, and in the first room a mysterious face appears in the smoke of a candle. I mean, how cool is that? He explains his name is Mordemir, and he's trapped in the dungeon. You must rescue him. So begins your quest to battle your way through the labyrinth to its ultimate conclusion of fighting a dragon. There are two types of main enemy in the game, trolls and goblins. They are at war with each other. It's a minor plot point that's woven throughout the game, but the majority of the story is told through dream sequences, when the player rests on these small straw beds.
There are other enemies in the game, like small puddles of slime that will consume you instantly, invisible enemies that reside in the dark room of the first level, and even some items you carry can kill you instantly if you use them in the wrong place. The game is comprised over 7 levels, and each one is a death trap. You will die in many different ways whilst you try and figure out what the game wants you to do. The enemies are never that difficult to deal with. You engage combat in a somewhat turn-based system where you balance your stamina with your power, and you can pretty much cheat it every time if you get into a good rhythm. What will kill you the most in this game though is the labyrinth itself. If you aren't paying attention, your wizard friend will be skewered, eaten, burned, fall to his death, or shot at by arrows from spring traps. It starts off fairly simple, but towards the later half of the game it gets a lot more complicated with way more environmental hazards to deal with.
Yes, the section with the barrel ride didn't get me angry at all. No. You'll be picking up keys and gold needed to open doors and buy specific items from traders to get you through the levels. Like the Dust of Compliance. You throw this into the air to make a dwarf hand over his gemstone that he previously wouldn't give to you.
Is that a copy of the new Medieval?
Yes, it is.
Nice. Can I have it?
No, it's mine, mate.
Can I have it?
Yes, absolutely. Take it, I insist. You know what? Take my car as well. You need a new car, don't you? And here you go. There's my wallet. There's about £50 in there, and my phone. You can have this too.
Dust of Compliance.
There's various other items and things needed to solve all the puzzles, but this is all very linear, and you never really have any choice about what to spend your gold on. For example, in a later level, a trader has a potion you need, it's the only thing he has, he takes your gold, and gives you a potion that shrinks you down to a small size, allowing you to pass through a small hole in that wall. So yes, it's very specific.
The graphics are stunning for the time, it conjures a perfect moody atmosphere, and the gore involved is next level. Heads popping, brain squishing, guttings, it's all here and always disturbing and fun to see each time. The soundtrack and sound effects themselves accompany the graphics wonderfully, adding layers onto the gloomy atmosphere that the game drips with from beginning to end.
Whilst the game is tough, it will leave you with little to do once completed. This is a very much one and done type of game, no collectibles and that sort of thing. There is a slight variation on the ending depending on a certain thing that you do, but the most important aspect of this game is that it is really good to play. Yes, it's annoying at times, and don't even get me started on how difficult a certain spider corridor is. But overall, I love this game. Yeah, I was terrified of it as a child, but I can genuinely say it's worth playing, and if it's not in your collection, I'd highly recommend seeking out a copy.
Well, that was spooky. I'm hungry. I wonder what Bren's whipping up in the horror kitchen. Let's go and take a look. Chiamo.
Hello and welcome to the Horror Kitchen, and today I'm going to be making some healthy snacks. I know Halloween's all about candy, but maybe not everyone wants candies, and these are a great snack. We're basically going to be making witches' wagons. Yes, it's exciting. So to start off with, you get a carrot peeled already. Chop the end off. Oh, that was loud, wasn't it? Chop the other end off because we don't need that either. Now we're gonna use the carrot to make the wheels of the wagon. Okay, so we want 4 even-sized wheels, or as best you can. Last one. There we go. Okay, so we've got 4 wheels. Perfect. Now we want the base of our wagon, which is going to be made out of a celery stick. So I'm sure you all know what these are. And basically we want to cut about, I don't know, maybe, well, enough to get both wheels in. So let's say, yeah, just 2 carrots width. 2 carrot wheels width. Yeah, you get it. So chop that. There we go. Now we're going to attach our wheels. So we want to use cocktail sticks for that. Okay? So all you do is get your celery stick and push the cocktail stick all the way through, like so. And do the same with the back. There we go. So now we've got like a little go-kart looking thing. And then we push the carrots on through the middle. There we go. There we go. All right, cool. We got our wagon. You can break off the cocktails sticks. Obviously, remove the cocktail sticks when you're going to eat it. They're just for show. But you can get some scissors and clip those off if you want. I won't because I forgot scissors. Anyway, to finish this off, we're going to need to fill the wagon with something, right? Now, I find peanut butter is really good. Peanut butter goes well with everything, right? So we're going to get the peanut butter. And I've gone for Tesco's smooth peanut butter, but you could use chunky, I suppose, if you want. And you just want a nice big dollop of that, and just get it in the middle of the celery there. Okay, and once you've filled your wagon, wipe that off. Then we can finish it off with some seedless raisins. That's right. I don't know what this is. I mean, maybe the witch is just like carting around a load of dirt, and this is like coal or whatever. But you can just decorate this up how you want. And the raisins go really nice with the peanut butter as well. It's like just pile them on there. And there you have it. Look, yours will probably turn out much better than mine. But there you go. You've got a witch's wagon there, and You know, it all goes well together. Add some extra dips, fill a plate up with those, and you got yourself a great healthy Halloween snack.
If you want a fun game to play over this Halloween period, then look no further than this charmer from Rare. Grabbed or the Ghoulies was developed by Rare and released in 2003. Rare, famous for developing GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day, to name but a few, were now working on Grab by the Ghoulies for Nintendo, when tragedy struck and Microsoft bought Rare from Nintendo. This really shook the production of Grab by the Ghoulies, and what was supposed to be a much larger Nintendo property got cut down and simplified due to time constraints put on by Microsoft. Big business never favours art, it would seem. But despite this setback, Rare still managed to release a fine game that has many spooky themes and is overall a lot of Halloween fun.
Cooper and his girlfriend Amber are looking for shelter from a storm when they stumble across Ghoulhaven Hall. All too quickly, Amber gets kidnapped and you take control of Cooper to save her, navigating your way through the house, completing challenges, and fighting off ghoulies. The gameplay is simple and is broken down into each room having a different challenge, be it defeating a certain type of enemy, or all enemies, or there is a time limit, or your health is randomly set to a low number, making the challenge harder.
Along the way you'll meet some amazing characters with that Rare trademark humour. You'll wield weapons, trash rooms and watch skeletons dance. I mean, what's not to love? There were a few times I played this where I really got pulled in by the atmosphere, and that's what a lot of Rare games manage to do. Create this world you could easily get pulled into and soak up the environment. Grab by the Ghoulies leaves a really soft spot in my heart and I can't wait to run through it again real soon.
No wait, go back, you missed the checkpoint. What's that noise?
I don't know.
We'll go and check.
Why me?
Because!
Alright.
I made a game!
What?
Yeah. I made a game. This one, yeah. By now you probably all know I developed my own game. It's been a year since that happened and I felt it fitting to cover it and give you a look at the development and everything that has happened since. Creating Hallowed Candy was the best thing I've ever done. I think anyone would feel that after making their first game. I wanted to make something simple, and a one-screen arcade classic seemed within my skill level as a very new programmer. I designed the character Pipkin and wanted to make it all about Halloween and candy. I'm an artist first and wanted to create a really unique looking character for the game. So make a girl who has a pumpkin for a head and make her attractive? Challenge accepted. I'd like to think I nailed that aspect of the design, but you be the judge. Development started and 8 months later the first playable version was ready to be unleashed. I should say that the 8 months included learning how to code and getting my head around everything, which was quite a challenge. Not long after I'd finished, the opportunity arose to showcase the game at the Southampton Game Fest. Here I was, 8 months later, and I was stood alongside other game developers and had a booth at a game show where the likes of Ubisoft were also in attendance. I felt completely out of my league, and I very much was. But here was our cozy booth, decorated with candy, and people were playing the game. It was amazing to see people of all ages playing and enjoying what I'd created, and more importantly gave me some great insight on how it could be improved. After the Game Fest I added new features like the Candy Cola machine that would grant the player an extra life at the cost of some of their points, and other features like a weapon power-up that granted you extra firepower for a short time. The game was done, and I felt like I could carry on working on it forever, adding things, tweaking things, but this was my first game, and for what it is, I think it's perfect. It was highly praised online and has currently had over 575 downloads, and a few people have made videos of their own playing it. But I wasn't done just yet. My love for all things arcade led me to try and build my own custom arcade cabinet purely for Hallowed Candy. And here it is. In all of its glory, this bad boy is rocking an arcade version of the game with an increased difficulty and 1 or 2 minor tweaks, purely for this arcade machine. Yes, that's right, it's the only version available in the world. You could say it's the rarest game I own. Now of course you can play the game for yourselves, it's available here and you can play it all Halloween for free. Just download it, plug in your favourite controller and play away. My developer name is Project Level, and what am I working on? Well, there's a few things in production, but the next title from me will be a platform adventure, so stick around for that.
Let's do this!
Yeah, I'm really glad with how Hallowed Candy turned out, and I hope you all enjoy playing it.
Yeah. You know what, Bren? I'm really thirsty.
Go log into Twitch.
Not that thirsty.
Feeling thirsty? Well, today we're going to be making an alcoholic butterbeer from Harry Potter. Or at least the alcoholic version from Harry Potter. So first things first, kiddos. We're going to take some golden syrup here. And we're going to get this glass nice and sticky. Because if there's anything better than a alcoholic cocktail, it's having it really messy. Preferably getting most of it inside so that when the person picks it up, they don't get it on their hands. That is great. I've then got a plate of granulated brown sugar. So let's get that all nice and crispy on the edge here. Ah, yeah, that's glorious. Beautiful. Look at that shimmer. Check that out. Sugar on sugar, people. Sugar on sugar. Okay, now we've got this. We are gonna need some cream soda. And we're gonna mix that up with some toffee sauce. So, let's get this over here. Alright, we only need a squib of toffee sauce. That'll do it. Bit more than a squib, but it'll do. Perfect. And it's grand. And we'll pop that with some creamy cream soda. Again, we need a little bit of this. That'll do it. Okay. Let's mix that up. This is our toffee-esque concoction that'll really give it its kick. Okay. Now, in our... Look how cool that glass is looking. In our super sticky cool crystal looking glass here, we are gonna open up some Krabby's ginger beer. I somehow have gluten-free, but get what you can get. We use Pac-Man to open the bottle. And now we want 1 part of the ginger beer to 2 parts. One third of ginger beer to 2/3 cream soda. So I'm just gonna pour a bit of this in here. We don't actually need much of this. We only need a little bit of this. Let's get our cream soda in as well. This glass is looking great. That is great. Oh yeah. Okay. Leave enough space for our cream soda and caramel concoction over here. Give that another stir. Plonk that in. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is great. You want to stir, but not much. You don't want to lose that fizz. You don't want to lose the fizz. That's perfect. And then how we finish it off in the Shires is some whipped cream, because you can't go wrong with some whipped cream. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then just because it's already not sugary enough there, just a sprinkle of some sugar on top as well. And there you have it. Alcoholic butterbeer. Ah, oh, Jay's up there. I should make another one for him. Can I just borrow that? You alright there, mate? Just, perfect. Okay. Cocktail duplicato. Perfect. Come get it, boys.
You know what this reminds me of? Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, I can see that.
the movie release of Alien 3, the Alien franchise would lay dormant for 5 years, until we saw the release of Alien Resurrection, a movie which, for many, was a bad attempt at a great franchise, trading fear and tension for comic book humour and more colour and vibrancy. It was okay for the most part, but when compared to the other movies in the series, it stuck out like a sore thumb. They even managed to crank in Ellen Ripley again as some sort of weird alien hybrid. Yeah, I know, they really jumped the shark on that one.
Aside from mixed reviews and its criminal overuse of bad CGI, there was a shining light, and it gave way to the video game release on PS1. Albeit 4 years after the film's release in 2000, but maybe that's why it doesn't feel like a rushed movie tie-in. Originally it was to be a third-person horror game in line with the Resident Evil franchise, but it was scrapped, and developers Argonaut reworked it into the game it is today.
Okay, so it's not perfect by any means, but the first-person shooter genre owes something incredible to this title, and that is the interesting control layout. Quite uniquely for the time, you could use the PlayStation mouse to control the game. I never had one, still don't, so the option is forever greyed out. But that's not the most important part of the control scheme at all. No, it was actually the first time the PlayStation controller ever used the right stick to look and the left stick to move. That's right, the first time ever. This led the way for every shooter we know and love today, and at the time the controls were slammed by some reviewers, Steve Garrett from GameSpot, and I quote, "almost unplayably difficult to control and unreasonably hard to enjoy." Oh dear, Steve. Fear change much?
He was right about one thing though, it was very tough. The survival aspect is very real, with the game being on easy, the ammo is still really scarce, and I often found myself running out. It takes 2 direct hits with a shotgun to put down an alien, but they move pretty fast and it's easy to miss. It's always worth hunting round for extra ammo, but the sweet find of some extra ammo or a large health kit does come with risks. I guess with its survival horror difficulty and new control scheme, it threw players and reviewers in the deep end.
Ultimately, the game released to pretty mixed reviews and it didn't do exceptionally well, but I'm willing to let all that go because I actually quite enjoyed it, and I think you will too. You get to play as all the characters from the film and get to use their iconic equipment like the pulse rifle, dual wrist guns, the wheelchair shotgun, and the iconic flask gun. But the main thing to take away from Alien Resurrection is that it was a benchmark, and it will always be remembered for that control scheme, and the industry hasn't looked back since. Well, we've got to the end of our Halloween special this year.
Yeah, we hope you've had fun.
But before we go, we'd like to give you the opportunity to win a signed Hallowed Candy poster.
Yes, and all you've got to do is answer these 3 questions. And if you've been watching closely, it shouldn't be too hard. To be in with a chance to win this one-of-a-kind poster for Hallowed Candy, all you have to do is answer these 3 questions. 1. What is the name of the character from Hallowed Candy? 2. What game set the trend for current first-person controls? And lastly, question 3, what franchise are Nikita's cocktails from? Send your answers to moganeer@gmail.com with the reference Halloween Comp. A winner will be picked at random and announced on our Facebook page. The winner will also be notified via email. Good luck, Moganeers. Right, that's it. Good luck to everyone. All that's left to say is have a very happy Halloween.
Eat too much candy.
Have lots of beer.
Butterbeer, that is.
As always, I've been Bren.
I've been Nikita.
I've been Jay.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.